Make it in England or lose it. Why manufacturing needs urgent. Reinvestment manufacturing in England is not dying, but it is being slowly starved. Around 2.6 million people still work in manufacturing across England, yet the sector's share of the economy has fallen from over 25% in the late 1970s to around 10% today. This was not inevitable. It was a political choice. English manufacturing investment is consistently lower than that of comparable economies. According to international data, the United Kingdom invests around 20% less per worker in manufacturing capital than Germany. The result is predictable: older machinery, lower productivity, and jobs that are easier to move overseas. The cost is already visible. Since 2010, England has lost hundreds of thousands of manufacturing jobs, with the sharpest declines in the Midlands and the North. Entire supply chains have weakened, leaving the country exposed during crises. During COVID, England struggled to produce basic protective equipment and medical supplies, despite having the skills and workforce to do so. Underinvestment. This was not a failure of workers across England. Productivity gaps are driven by underinvestment, not effort. Where firms invest, workers across England match or exceed international standards. The problem is that too many firms extract profits instead of reinvesting them. Public spending could reverse this trend almost immediately. England's public sector spends around £300 billion to £430 billion annually on procurement of goods, works, and services. Other countries explicitly use procurement to support national industry. England largely does not. Reinvestment must be conditional. Any firm receiving public contracts or subsidies should be required to manufacture in England where capacity exists, recognise the involvement of independent trade unions on business boards, provide apprenticeships and paid training, commit to long-term domestic production. Publicly backed investment is also essential. Countries with strong manufacturing bases use publicly owned development banks to provide long-term capital and long-term investment. England relies heavily on private finance that prioritizes short-term returns. This is why viable plants close while profits leave the country. Without intervention, manufacturing decline will continue quietly until the capacity is gone. Rebuilding it later will cost far more than protecting it now. This matters because manufacturing investments take time. New plants, new production lines, and new technologies do not pay off in a year or two. Private finance often avoids this risk or demands high returns quickly, which leads to underinvestment, plant closures, offshoring, asset stripping. Reinvesting in English manufacturing is not nostalgia, it is economic self-defense, job security, and national resilience. Investment that is long-term, often over 10, 20 or 30 years, is essential. It means the British government has to lower pressure for immediate profit or rapid cost-cutting. There has to be a willingness to invest in factories, machinery, research and skills, and government needs to support industries that are strategically important but not immediately highly profitable.